I watched the game with Lance, and every time I see Lance play, there's one thing I've noticed more than anything, more than his throws and his misses. He always seems to get better. And
Yes.
I followed
Yeah.
it through the game, and the
Yeah.
first drive was a interception. The
Yeah.
second drive, they moved forward.
Yeah.
Then they almost scored, and then they scored. It seemed like
Yeah.
every time he goes out there,
Yeah.
he gets better.
One thing I'd like to see Kyle do with him is sort of have a little awareness of Trey's jitters. I don't know what you want to call them, but on that first drive, I was thinking he's gonna throw a pick. He's gonna throw a pick. He he does that early in
Mm.
games is when he'll have that first overthrow.
That's why.
He
That's
settles
why
down though. He
yeah.
settles down and competes. And I'd like to see if you know that about your 21-year-old quarterback, dude, don't let him do it. Like, don't let him freaking
I
do it
like. I
early in
don't know
games.
if it was Jack Hammer or who said it, but I like the opposite idea. Uh, in the preseason, the first play he did was this huge bomb down the
Boom.
side.
Yep,
That works. If you
it
overthrow it, it
does.
doesn't matter.
No, hey, take shots deep, go down the sideline, but you need to get him in the flow of the game before you let him throw over the middle. Good God.
Yeah, yeah, I
Good
agree.
God.
I
Just
agree.
saying. That's dangerous. That's dangerous as hell.
It was clear he needs more experience. There were
Yeah.
lots of plays where it was like, okay, if he got to the bottom of his drop and threw the ball, it would have been a complete pass. But instead, he started moving around and playing and being athletic, which is fine. He does good plays, but like
Yeah.
what I see is hope. I see a
Right.
player who's
Exactly.
already doing good things in the
Yes.
situations he's in, and
But he
who
couldn't
has the
be less
potential to
polished. He
become.
couldn't be less polished. And to me,
Yeah,
that is a failure, not a failure, but it's an indictment of the plan for him. I mean, imagine what he would look
yeah.
like right now if Jimmy Garoppolo had been traded after the draft, which would have been fair to both guys. And
Honestly, I don't know if it would be that different. I think he would be a bit better, but I feel like it's not going to be a process that's going to take a few months. I think it
but I'm
might
just saying,
take.
like, imagine if he had all the reps with the first team
Mm,
in camp, in mini. Imagine if there freaking been a mini camp. Like, there's so many missed opportunities here, and I feel like
yeah.
it's not a stretch to say that the development process is starting now.
Yes, yes.
Now,
I agree with that.
now,
The
yeah,
the development
yeah,
process seems to be starting now,
now,
but I
yeah.
feel like this is a thing that's going
No,
to
it is.
take time. It's not
It
going to
is.
be
It is.
a few weeks or maybe even a
Remember, it
few
took
months.
Alex Smith like 7 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah,
So that's why I see hope. Yeah, maybe we started late and that's bad,
yeah,
and maybe this season is going to suffer for it. But I still
yeah,
see, even if Kyle Shanahan leaves, goes to another team, and we get a new guy, Lance does look like someone who's getting better. We see that he can do it because at the end of the games, he's playing better. He's seeing more of his reads. If we can improve that aspect, I think that it's a talent that could really make a difference.
I completely agree. I think I really enjoy watching him play, and the only thing that bothers me about him is that I wish the Niners had done better by him. He was 21. He could have used the reps, and the Niners didn't give it to him because they incorrectly estimated, overestimated how good they were with Jimmy. Period. They didn't overestimate Jimmy. They overestimated themselves,
Hmm.
and use that as justification to not start the Trey Lance development. And I mean, in the big picture, I guess it cost them 6 months, and maybe it's not a big deal, but you could also say it cost them this
I think
season.
it's still a big deal,
I think it's a big deal,
looking
but
forward,
the
we can yeah.
yeah, looking forward, the most important thing is that it's positive that they have
Hmm.
him. Yeah, I'm with you,
And
man. Good
the
call.
last thing I wanted to say
Yes,
is that I feel like Kyle is not a head coach. He's not a coach. What I mean by this is
he's
like
not a coach,
a
right?
coach
Right.
is someone like
Yeah.
I think of it like in most hierarchies, the coach is normally above the players in the
Mm,
way that he's like their leader and
mhm.
also like the person who's in front of everyone else for the team. For example, if you have a boss and your boss and you mess up, for other people, the boss takes the responsibility,
Right.
and then he can say, "Hey, you did a bad job," but he says, "I did it wrong."
Yeah. As
It
far as
seems,
the upper ups know, it's on me, but between us, I'll handle it the way I need to
yeah, and
handle it. But I took the heat. Yeah.
that's what a leader does, and that's what
Right.
you're supposed to do when you're in a position like this.
Right.
It
But
seems like
Kyle, after games, what do you think? Oh, some good, some bad.
it seems like Kyle puts himself on the same level as the players and tries to find who's to blame.
Ah, interesting. Very interesting.
That's what
Very
it
interesting.
seems to me, because he's like, okay, so this person didn't do that. There were players open.
Yeah, he has the mentality of a player because he was
Mhm.
one, but essentially he is a play designer.
Yeah,
And he was great at that in 2019. I don't think he's been particularly good at that the last 2 years. Maybe it's because he got a 6-year extension and deadline spur creativity. I don't know. But
I think it has also to do with him being the coach and having other responsibilities which
yeah,
take him away.
that's
And
true.
and
That's
he's
true.
really good designing plays, but he always thinks like that. When he's thinking
Yeah,
about how a play went, he thinks of the design of the play and how the players went through that design, and not so much what the specific players were in and how the situation evolved.
that's right. Yeah. Well, Kyle, now would be a good time for you to prove everyone wrong because you're losing a lot of confidence amongst your fan base. And that's the hot seat. It's not like, when the organization loses confidence, once the fan base loses confidence in you, it kind of forces the organization's hand. So it's week 6. You got a lot of time to turn this around. Now would be a good time. The Mech is great to see you, man.
It's good to see you.